Kate from Ripple Podiatry, and I'm doing a mini series on bunions. So today I'm going to talk to you about what a bunion is and how it develops. So a bunion itself is when the toe angles towards the little toes and it causes this joint to open up and supplicate, which puts pressure on the outside, and on the outside there's this little bursa, like a little sac of fluid, that's supposed to protect the joint and the nerve from outside force. But because of the internal pressure, because of the angling, it gets irritated in itself and therefore starts to get bigger and harden. Now, a bunion is progressive in the sense that the longer you use it, the worse it's going to get. So if we look at why a bunion occurs in the first place, there is a little genetic factor in the sense that we generally inherit our parents' biomechanics. So how they walk, generally that encourages us on how we walk. So if we're walking and instead of going through the toes, I'm going off the side of the toe because I'm pivoting, that means that every step I take, and if you're doing about 3,000 to 7,000 steps a day, that's 3,000 to 7,000 times where you've pushed that toe across. And if you're doing that every day, every week, every year, then no wonder it then starts to follow suit. Now the problem being that as this angle goes and the toe comes across, these little toes have to accommodate that. So the second toe will often go down or up because it's running out of space because of the big toe. So other ways that it progresses is that this angle gets worse, but it also gets more arthritic, which means that it reduces how much you can actually use it. Other things that it will influence is going to be how you're walking. So if you've got a toe that is dropped, rotating, angled, that's going to affect how your body can actually progress through your foot. So your ankle will then have to compensate, your knee will have to compensate, your hip will have to compensate, your back will have to compensate, and you end up doing a lot of rotation, bending and twisting because of this little toe. Now, one of the things that we need to consider when it comes to a bunion is actually the loss of flexibility. Some people, before the toes even come across, we lose the flexibility in the joint and therefore how much it can function. As it gets worse and worse, that means that there has to be a lot more rotation happening further back here and in the ankle and the knees. And that can cause problems like pinched nerves as well, or neuromas within the little toes that also have to accommodate that. So the progression of a bunion ends up being very consistent in the sense that you'll start to notice it and it doesn't look that bad, and then suddenly you're looking at a toe that's pointing in the completely wrong direction. The key is to go in sooner rather than later. Start working on some prevention, which we'll be looking in at the next video. I'm Kate from Ripple Podiatry, and I'll see you next time.